Good morning and welcome back to We Are the South Stand. Firstly, apologies. I have been missing I think I haven't done a show for about a week. No, I did a show last Friday. I've just actually got a message off of someone saying, bro, are you all right? I heard that you're dead. Oh, no. And then he's just said, Steve, no, it just said that Steve said you've been really unwell recently. Yeah. I was going to say, fucking hell, that's a mad rumour. Anyway, yes, I am feeling better now, thank you, and decided to shave my whole barnet off as well. And I'm up to the mountains now. I'm not going nowhere. How is everyone, though? Alan, good. How are you?
Good.
Good? You're going to find out if you're on the positive train or if you're...
Alan can't find the station, let alone the train.
That service has been cancelled for years.
And Steve, thank you for the suggestion of the tablets yesterday. The
inspiration too, given the haircut.
Yeah, well, maybe the inspiration. Yeah, Steve, look, the barnet's gone, by the way. But Steve, also, you did give me a suggestion yesterday of some tablets that I might want to take. And hey, presto, I've taken them. I'm feeling better now, so I appreciate it. Patrick, how are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Things are good over here. Just starting to get the first inklings of summertime. I think we're expecting a 31-degree day on Saturday. So that should make for a nice weekend. And, yeah, as I said to you off camera, mate, I'm so happy that we're playing every 3-4 days again now. Like, yeah, it's just nice to just focus on.
Sorry, just to let you know, we've only got four more games of that. Then we've got an international.
You beat me to it. I was just about to say, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to get going again, just for it to inevitably finish up again for 2 weeks.
Yeah, don't get too happy. International breaks to come.
Although this international break should be fun because we've got Australia playing the USA, and Mancunian Way is going to have a Blues Down Under versus Stateside Blues sort of watch along. Don't know if there's anything at stake yet, but it should be good.
Come on, United States.
Hold on a second. But this is a reason why
Alan supporting something that has United in it.
We should.
Mate, listen, you know the reasons why. Just so people don't know, I support England and anyone who plays at Australia, anything.
Do you want to tell the good people in the chat where you live?
Yeah, why? I can't know why.
Do you want to tell the good people in the chat where you live, by the way?
Hold on. Can I? Yeah. For anyone that knows, say it again, Alan. Where do you live?
In Melbourne.
Okay,
Australia.
now Alan, I'm just gonna. I do love your patriotism. I do love that it's England over everything, apart from Man City, 100%.
Reverse patriotism.
But can I just ask you a question?
Go on.
When people migrate to England, do you want them to get behind everything British?
Well, no. If you come from somewhere else, mate, you cheer for that country. End of story. But
I don't know. I'm pretty certain, Alan, you think that when people move to another country, they have to embrace that country. I'm pretty certain.
I do. But let's hear me out. Hear me out.
See where something's a bit contradictory here.
This comes from because, as you know, cricket is a main part of my sporting ID, right? And it comes from playing cricket against the Aussies at a very young age, right? And anyone who supports Australia, I love to see Aussies get beat at sport. No matter what sport it is, I can take the piss out of them big time. And trust me, they hate getting beat. I'll give you a scenario. When Australia get beat at anything, it's maybe on page 13 of a paper about that big in a column at the bottom that Australia got beat. But when they win at anything, it's on every fucking page, broadsheets. Trust me, they can't shut up.
Can I ask you a question now? Did you get your Australian citizenship, your dual citizenship on Australia Day?
No.
You didn't get on Australia Day? Okay.
No.
What's Australia Day?
Because you know, Australia Day is like the day that the British colonials first settled in the country.
Okay.
To the Indigenous, it is seen as like an invasion day, and rightfully so, given the history. But that's a whole other story. But the reason why I wanted to ask was because this gentleman right here, just above me, he goes on about saying he'll say yeah, I'm a citizen and that, and at every Australia Day he'll just put Happy Invasion Day.
Yeah, I do.
He's all right.
Do you know what? My real dad moved to Thailand when I was young, and whenever he came back, so when he did come back to England and I saw him, all he'd ever do is complain about England, right? As in literally once I picked him up from the airport and before we've even left the car park, he's complaining about having to pay for the car park at the airport. Imagine that now. Fucking hell. Listen, it's far worse than that, Dad. But when I went to actually stay with him in Thailand, I then realised that he does the same in Thailand about Thailand. And it's just actually, he was just a moaning bastard, to be fair.
Yeah.
Me
too, mate. I moan about Sydney all the time. The second I moan about Sydney too. The second I got stamps in my passport. Now Sydney's the greatest city in the world.
And we do have, talking of Australia and Aussies, we do have one more new member to the panel. Aussie. Welcome.
Hey, Dabs. I'm not an Australian.
Aussie by name.
Huh?
Aussie by name, not
by Chelsea.
I know.
Not by Chelsea.
I'm aware. It's quite interesting that the one called Aussie is actually not in Australia.
Yeah.
But hey, anyway. And actually, I would say of the three, I don't know, you lot in the comments, you can decide, but looks the most Australian?
He does, actually.
He does.
Yeah.
He does actually look the most Aussie.
Yeah.
Wow.
You would actually fit for. You would fit straight in here, Aussie.
Good to know.
As long as you moan a lot. Anyway, we are back. I've got two games to talk on, really, for me. The Arsenal game and, of course, last night. Both, for me, I'm taking a lot of positives out of. I do owe Steve a new Man City shirt as well. Yes, I'm aware, Steve. My handling of a flare's not great. I didn't realise that they go everywhere, and the back of his shirt's a bit damaged. But listen, we did have a great send off over in Amsterdam for Loss. Really good, really good. A funny moment where the speeches. The family made a really good effort, and in each speech they kind of had a kind of like a 30-second to a minute bit about that was in English, so that we would understand it, because of course the rest of it was in Dutch. And his father-in-law wanted to thank all of us for coming over, and he said we couldn't understand exactly what he said. We just heard the word Manchester United. and all of us are looking at each other like, is he having a laugh? What? but then later on he corrected it and he said Manchester City. But yeah, great send off and Loss. I hope you're comfortable up in your new home. Right then, Alan, I'm going to come to you.
Kipak's in the sky. You'll be there.
Kipak's in the sky, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think and two of the songs that actually were played at the funeral were Oasis, Champagne Supernova and Live Forever. So,
nice.
And Fleetwood Mac as well. Everywhere was played as well. So,
very nice.
Right, I'm going to come to you, people. Please make sure you are smashing the likes. Let's get those likes up nice and high and get this channel back booming again. I know I've neglected it for the last week or so, but sometimes other things need to be prioritised. Right, Alan, Arsenal game. How are you feeling about that one first?
Well, at the beginning of last week, if someone had said to me 2 wins and a draw, and to draw at the Emirates, I'd have snapped their hand off. And that's exactly what happened. Whilst I was very disappointed that we conceded last minute, which is natural, I would have taken a draw at the start of the game all day long. So it ended up on a positive for me that we went there with players out injured, good players, and to come away with a draw and nearly win was a positive.
You're taking. How about you, Ozzy? Are you the same? Positive from the Arsenal result?
Yeah, I think as Alan said, if anyone said you get 7 points at the end of those 3 games, we all would have snapped your hand off. I think for me, the lead up to the game, all I kept hearing, especially from the media and opposition fans, was this City's back four can be got at. A lot of it was they could see an Arsenal win. No one thought we'd win the game. There were a few draws in there. I think, on the Mancunian way, I think most of us have gone for a draw. So for that result and for that game, I looked at it and was like, wow, that was a hell of a defensive display. You can look at all the negatives around, the way that we played. But for me, it was, as soon as the first goal went in from Haaland, it was on Arsenal to bring the game to us.
Yeah.
We're the ones away. They're the one at home. So it was all on Arsenal, very much similar to how, when they played us last season. Do you know what I mean? When they'd had the Champions League late draw, so we only kind of did what they did to us, really. A lot of our players were knackered. We saw Haaland go off. We saw Rodri go off.
Yeah, you can see how tired. For me, I'm the same as you. I think we've got I think it's funny how, and do you know what? Shout out to Arteta and every single Arsenal fan that don't give a shit about us, but seem to want to run the narrative now that, getting a draw against City is, having City come and play the low block against you. Like, ultimately, it does seem like Arsenal have been craving some City respect, and us playing a low block seems to be our way of, they're taking this as City have shown us respect now. Like, the way they're going on about it, it's like, we've made Manchester City play a low block, is actually, we kind of did against Man United as well. So you can't take too much praise from this, because we did it against Man United at home for the last 20 minutes. The reason is because of where we are at the moment, right? And I think most Man City fans are, hopefully, we know where we are at the moment. We know that even though, yes, we did have, we only had Marmoush out, we only had Cherki out, Kovacic out. I think that was probably Ait-Nouri. We have 4 players out now.
I will say
sorry, 1 second, Alan. I'm actually quite comfortable with those 4 players being out for that game, right? However, those 4 players would have made a huge difference off the bench. All 4 of them, to have those off the bench, and we didn't. Yeah. And we also have to then look at the fact that quite a few of our players are still just returning from injury, so they're still not at, and they haven't played with each other too many times. So, I just wish I really wanted a clean sheet, because going into it, as you just said, Ozzy, we were really hit by a lot of Arsenal fans with this. Manchester City's defence is shit. Manchester City's defence looks weak. Now, I don't believe that a fully fit Manchester City defence is shit at all, right? I actually think a fully fit Gvardiol, Dias, Kuzanov, and whether it be O'Reilly or Ait-Nouri is a very fucking capable defence. In fact, give it 6 months, and I think we might be talking about it being one of the best defences in the league again. I wish we would
say that. I think we could say that now. If we're really looking at that game, I think we put on such a fantastic defensive display that Arsenal could. If you look at the stats, Arsenal couldn't break us down.
No,
they absolutely. You look at the first half; they got a handful of shots off, and in the second half, they only got a handful of shots off. Yeah. They barely created anything. They barely gave Donnarumma, a hard game.
Were any of us like? Look, 1-0 down at the Emirates, I'm not going to say I wasn't nervous, because in a game of football, if it's 1-0, you're always nervous. But if you watch the game back, you do struggle to say how many real clear-cut chances they had. Probably, someone's just said, we had 3 clear chances. How many did they have, though? That's the thing. We probably actually, did we have better chances than them?
They had 1 shot on target in the first half.
Yeah.
And the second half, they had 2 shots on target.
There we go.
I'll say this, looking at it logically. Why they're saying we could get at City's defence is we didn't have our first choice fullbacks playing, which is true. All right. Hang on. We played.
Hold on. No, Alan. I want to question you on that. You've just made a statement. you said we didn't have our first choice. They could get at us because we didn't have our first choice fullbacks. But would you not say
we had fullbacks that played in that game that didn't bomb forward at all, which was under instructions, right? Right. And that's the way they played.
But wouldn't you say we had? Wouldn't you say
Nikhil Riley played really well? And to be honest with you, Nikhil Riley looks a better player at the moment than Nori.
Well, and so doesn't. And wouldn't you agree that Kuzanov defensively looks better than?
Yeah. But at the end of the day, would you look that good if they were bombing forward at the same time and playing further forward?
I think O'Reilly pushed forward a bit. Kuzanov, no, I don't. I don't expect
because he's not an out-and-out fullback, is he? Let's be honest.
No, he's not a fullback. He's not. For me, against Man United, though, I saw that Kuzanov can do a job going forward. Because the job often the job of Kyle
is doing the basics at the moment in terms of keeping the shape at the back.
But also
that advancing forward will come into his game, and it's good to if he's going to learn it, it's perfect. It's perfect time of his career to do it because he's only 20, 21 years of age. But you can learn, you can put that into, you can learn that, you can develop that into your game. If he was 27, 28, it'd be too late now.
Right. So, and that's the thing. Sorry, it wasn't against Man United. It was against Napoli. Against Napoli, Kuzanov did the exact job that Kyle Walker does. Right, or used to do, right, which was just
against us, but against us.
Hold on, Al. Yeah, of course, that was just holding the shape and creating some width, right? Because you don't always need to have it on both sides, and for me, I don't want it to change. I don't want us to get where I am with our defense and the way we play. I don't want us to get back to that. I'm quite happy with having. I know you're not. Al. I know you're not. Just
if you look at Pep's press conference after the game in Napoli, he made the comparison between Kuzanov and Walker.
Yeah, he did.
And it was positive. It was like, this is what we want to see from Kuzanov. You know, at his best when Kyle Walker was his pomp. That was a hell of a day. He didn't have to say that.
No. He doesn't. Pep doesn't say these things. Do you know what? I feel like over the last week, Kuzanov has gained. I think Pep probably already, maybe even the Brighton game, looked at that and thought, do you know what? I can see a difference with Kuzanov on the pitch, right? Because, until Kuzanov was on the pitch, I think we were drawing when Kuzanov came off. But I feel like in this last week, Kuzanov has gained Pep's trust. Pep knows, I can throw this guy in because he's put him in. Let's be real. First game was a Manchester derby, right? Very, very. That's a very easy game for Kuzanov to get sent off in or lose his head in or have a bozo moment because it's a derby. Napoli at home just showed composure, and what I love about it is with Kuzanov is his willingness to learn. Right, you can see that this kid is learning every day, and that's what the Napoli game. He was just holding the width, right? He knew what his job was to once we'd got that team, because Napoli weren't looking to attack us, so it was kind of a bit more like old City of a few seasons ago, where we're pinning a team back and just camped in their half. But Kuzanov was doing what he had to do there. The bonus of it is, with Kuzanov being on the pitch doing that and not Nunes, is that we know that Kuzanov will get back if need be, and Kuzanov will catch up. And even in the Arsenal game, there's a few moments where I saw Kuzanov's reading of the game is so good that he could see dangers and he'd go and cover where he thought the danger was going to be. A few times he wouldn't go to where the ball was. He'd leave Ruben or Gvardiol dealing with it, and you'd see Kuzanov just peeling off and making a run somewhere. He's thinking someone's going to go there. So no, I think he's good, but I don't think. I mean, down his side, did Trossard get past him once?
He had Trossard.
No, I think he kept pace with him all game.
Yeah,
and if anything, he burned him on a few occasions as well. The other thing I think, just a small thing, I think people are sort of glossing over as well too, is I think Kuzanov's in a fortunate position right now because he is still learning English. So I think in a way, when he's given instructions, it's black and white to him. It's either yes or no. It's either switch off or switch on or off switch. There's one or the other. There's nothing in between. The other thing too is, if we remember that match against Chelsea, when Bernardo Silva was coming back and supporting him. Obviously, Bernardo was his go-to because the only language he had between him and most of the team was basically French, because of the basic French that he learned his time at Lens. I think we're kind of forgetting a little bit in a way that I think the dynamic in terms of the defensive cohesion has had a big change in just these couple of weeks since Donnarumma's come in.
Yeah.
And the other thing you've got to remember too is that Donnarumma just spent a few seasons playing in Paris. The guy speaks surely speaks good French.
That's why.
Who's going to communicate with Kuznov when Bernardo can't do it?
Right.
The person who's right in front of him.
Have you not seen Kuznov and Donnarumma? There seems to have been. I've seen a few pictures.
I think there's an increased understanding now. Yep. And we're sort of glossing over that a little bit.
I didn't. Do you know what? I didn't know Kuznov speaks French, but now I guess it does make sense why he was there. But it makes perfect sense why him and Donnarumma have taken her. I didn't think about that.
And I'm not saying Donnarumma probably didn't learn French when he went to Paris. He probably knew it from when he was a kid. Because once you grow up in those parts of Europe, you pretty much know a lot. You have a really good, strong understanding of like your neighboring countries' languages, basically. So he would have known quite a lot of French growing up as a kid.
I can confirm I speak fluent sheep.
Didn't know you were from Wales.
No, you just said my neighbours. They're my neighbours, the Welsh.
Okay.
I saw, by the way, just to change the subject, don't know if anyone that follows me on Instagram, or it's either me or We Are the South Stand, one of the two accounts. A man got bum raped by a zebra, a Newcastle fan, apparently.
Oh, was that you posted on your Insta stories? Yeah.
I don't know if
it's the worst Photoshop I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, it's the worst Photoshop I've ever seen in my life.
Anyway, let's move on.
I've got a crazy one for you. You got to hear about this. If you look it up, because it is actually true. There was an old Italian fella. This happened a few months ago. He was basically my head was in a bad place, and he was like going to go and effectively end his life. And he's jumped off the balcony of his apartment. It's like a fifth or sixth story apartment. And he's like gone to jump, and he's attempted to jump to his death. He's ended up jumping and landing on like an 80-year-old like grandmother. She broke his fall. He survived, killed her. Now he's going to jail for manslaughter.
Alan,
you can't make it up.
Wow.
You can't make it up. I swear to you, Google it. It's out there. It's a true story. I saw that. I was drinking my tea. I nearly spat it out. It was.
The sad thing is that he now has another reason, unfortunately, to feel that bad as well. So
yeah.
Oh God,
it's just horrible.
Let's get back to football. It's me that took that sideways. Sorry, people.
Apologies, but it's bizarre. I think people should know about it though.
Yeah. So from the Arsenal game, Alan, something you said, I think probably about 10 days ago now, about where we are at the moment. I think that is the message that kind of to all City fans, I think we need to keep remembering is we are where we are, right?
Yep.
A few good results.
Yep.
That doesn't now mean we're back. But the thing we need to look at, which I'm looking at, is we're starting to gel. For me, every game, we're starting to look better than the last. Right. And for me, in the Arsenal game, we did look better than the previous game because the way we defended in that game, I think we defended absolutely. I think you know what? When someone has a plan and they stick to it, right, you've got to credit them. And I think we stuck to the plan really fucking well. Really well.
We're starting to look like a unit.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the thing, we've not finished the article a long way. We're starting to look like a unit. It's starting to play together.
Yeah, agree, Alan. I just think these last 10 days of fixtures, I can't help but think that surely this team is now going in the right direction.
Yeah,
I do hope, and I'm with all due respect to Burnley, but I'm kind of glad that we are playing a team of their sort of caliber, their quality at the moment. And I hate to say this, but I think they might be due for a bit of a battering because it's, I think this finally is that one fixture where we play at home. There's a bit more strength, a few more injuries, a few more players might be back, a bit more match fitness. And we always say this in a lot of, since Pep comes in, we always say this usually around September, October time. There's always a team that we come up against that gets a proper battering.
Do you know what? I also
think maybe this might be the one to sort of just set us on our way.
I think at the moment, every game that we see, we should be taking something from it, right? And however, this game is now Burnley, and we've just played Arsenal, we've just played Man United, we've just played Napoli, right? This game is just as important as all of those, right? Because this is a game where we can start to build momentum. What are we? We're four games unbeaten. Is that right? Four games unbeaten, right?
Yeah.
3 wins, 1 draw. We can now start to build some momentum now. We've got a few winnable games. The players certainly aren't going to be in the same place as they were after the Brighton game. The players, I think, you can see that Arsenal game. In fact, no, that whole week we have played like a team. And I'll even go further with yesterday, because yesterday that wasn't the first 11. There was we had Foden on the pitch. Who else do we have on the pitch that's a starter?
Well,
Bob's not really a starter now for me, bro. I think Bob's going to now be a rotate. I think who's starting at the start of the season compared to who's going to start, I think Pep's probably found his best 11 at this point. And Bob isn't in it at the moment. I'm a big Bob fan, but they still came in. It looked very fluid yesterday. And now we're starting to use the whole squad. So next game, who is going to come back? Will Rodri come back against Burnley? Maybe he won't. Maybe Rodri will be rested, because this is what Rodri probably wants. And what City deep down want is that Rodri can be rotated and Rodri can be rested at times.
Yeah. I think Nico Gonzalez will start against Burnley.
I think he might.
I'm not sure. I mean, Nico plays a full 90. I wouldn't be surprised if Rodri then plays a full 90. Because if Nico's seemed to have had a good game, and yes, it's Huddersfield, but yeah, I'm kind of torn on it, because I want to go full strength. I want to wrap up a comfortable win, hopefully against Burnley. But I think also too that Monaco away match could be critical as well too, because if we can get a good result against Monaco, that sets us up well inside that top 8 of the Champions League.
Yeah, but then that's where you could look
going
at resting,
forward,
and that's where you could look at resting Rodri maybe against Burnley, knowing that we can then play him full 90 against.
Would you rather rest him? But would you rather rest him against Burnley or rest him against Monaco?
I think for me, I'd probably rather rest him against Burnley, and I'm usually the opposite way, but I probably would say Burnley.
Yeah.
But I also think it's now I think Pep said it. Every game is down to Rodri. They're really working with Rodri on it, asking him how he feels and if he feels up to starting or not. But I just think at the moment we need to get used to winning games without our best 11 coming in, because that's when we can say, right, against Burnley, Doku's going to be chomping at the bit because he's had some rest now, right? Haaland, if he's back, I think Haaland will want to start. It's good when we're using the whole squad, not when we're having to play certain players. And the news just come out as well. Cherki, I think it said Cherki is on his rehabilitation. So I've already seen people saying, "Oh, do you think we're rushing him back?" Yeah. Do you guys feel we're?
I think it still means he's back after international break.
Yeah. I think what they've said is he's in rehabilitation. So I don't think we will rush him back. I think at the moment, let me ask you a question. We rush Cherki back to play where? Best 11. Who do you drop?
Well, that's the thing at the moment, isn't it? Like, if you really look at it, like the big takeaway from me for the last 3 games, apart from last night, is the chemistry that's been building between Reijnders, Doku, Foden, Haaland. Do you know what I mean? And that has developed over the last 3 games. And then I think, you look at the right wing, and that's probably the area where I think we're unsure of, because it's between Savinho and Bobb right now.
You give Cherki a go there, I reckon.
You could give Cherki there, but we haven't seen him there really.
No.
What I'm saying is that's where he could come in conceivably, because as much as I think Bobb has looked good, I don't think, for me, he needs to score a goal, and I think that's when he may kick on a bit. His confidence just doesn't seem quite there yet. No. And Savio's coming back off an injury, and from what I saw last night, he was too busy doing flicks and tricks. This was a game for him to get back in, and I know he scored, but I think Pep would have been looking at that going, what are you doing?
Do you know the one thing I'd say is, because I've been saying how much I want to see Savio start on the left. It was unfortunate we were watching Savio start on the left without Haaland. Because that's what I want to see is, I want to see, well, in fact, you know what? I'll be honest with you. Doku's made it quite difficult because Doku is actually now linking up with Haaland to the point where my whole thing was, I want to see Savio on the left, right? Because I don't think Savio on the right is it. I don't like the way Savio cuts in. I don't think that's making the most of Haaland, right? And listen, if you're prime Iron Robben, prime Mahrez, maybe even Saka's pretty damn good at it, cutting in. And when you're cutting in and hitting it with your left, you're usually scoring. I don't mind that. But Savio last season, this cutting in and shooting wasn't working at all. So I wanted to see him on the left. But now the way Doku is linking up with Haaland, I don't need to see Savio on the left at this point. I don't.
Dabs, I said this on our show yesterday, and I think we sort of forgot about the whole Savio about where he played last season because, and we screamed out for playing on the left because the small sample size we got, we saw what was very, very good. Yeah. I think we missed one big thing about the reason why Savio was favoured on the right hand side so much more than left for Pep last season, and it was simple. There was no Oscar Bobb.
Yeah.
That was just how Pep had to play. That was the only options he had available to himself. And I think when you've got those two players who are basically playing left or right, in and out for an entire season, you had a sort of similar situation to when it was like Arsenal with Martinelli and Bukayo Saka. For the last couple of seasons, they just knew their names were going to be on the first team sheet every single week. And like I said, I think when you do that, you're more likely to get complacency because there's no competition within the squad to compete for those positions. And I think that's what happened in a way with Doku, and that's what happened with Savio. No Oscar Bobb. There wasn't as much competition for those places. They were always going to play. They're more susceptible to complacency.
Yeah.
With this season, now that Oscar Bobb is back, he was always going to have to compete with his position, whether it was Savio, whether it was Doku. Now Cherki's in there, and of course we can look at Cherki as being like a right-sided number 10, or like a right-sided midfield attacking midfielder, basically, or something along those lines. Now Savio's back playing, and we've got fit wingers or fit expansive forwards, whatever you want to call them. Now Pep's finally had the opportunity to actually put him on the left. Now, so far, what we've seen on the left is only a small sample size. It's not the best yet, but I think we're not going to see the best yet because he's not at match day fitness yet. But now that you've got Doku fit, you've got Savio fit, you've got Oscar Bobb fit, I think it's going to make playing on either left or right a bit more competitive. And that's a good thing to have, because I've always said we always play at our best when several positions are up for when one position is up for grabs with several players, basically.
We're also forgetting, Pat, that there's another player who's currently injured that can play across that front line. That's
Mamouche. Of course, Mamouche as well.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever seen Mamouche even play off the left. So I'm not entirely sure that's where he could come off. So.
Well, he's better favoured off the left than the right.
He's more favoured off the left, but here's the thing. Unfortunately, where I think we've seen, because I actually think the way we're playing at the moment favours Mamouche. It's the way we were playing last season. Right, if Haaland is starting in the 9, last season we were playing with wingers. Now Mamouche is not a winger, right? If we look at the games that Mamouche has started this season for us, I'm pretty certain it's the game. It was Tottenham, right? And we went back to our old way of playing last season. It was the game where Pep decided to switch back. Now, the way we're playing now, which is more with inside forwards as opposed to wingers, that favours Mamouche a lot more. So this is the thing. When at the moment we haven't got Mamouche off the bench, right? So if we look at Sunday, when Haaland came off, there was no outlet up top. We had no one up top, right? I mean, you would probably say our outlet was Doku, right? And then it was Savio when it came on. Even if Mamouche is not starting, Mamouche will be our option off the bench, and he can play in a fluid front three. So I think him coming back is quite a big one for us, because it's going to mean Haaland is going to need rest. We saw it the other day. He just looked tired, didn't he? So I think this is the thing against Arsenal. they had a chance against us because they were playing against a City that weren't at, we weren't at our full fitness. Our bench was very weak. And, we're still probably, our confidence is still nowhere near where it is once we get going. They didn't take advantage of that. And for me, I don't know how you guys feel, but just on them, can any of you lot see Arsenal winning the league?
No. Because one of the controversies after that game was the way they celebrated the equaliser. There's been a lot about that, hasn't there? About the over celebration, that what they should have done is done what we did when Stones got the equaliser last season, where you grab the ball and you take it back to the halfway line. Now that is what a serious team who's going for the title would have done. They had 5 minutes. A lot can happen in those 5 minutes for Arsenal. They've just scored. We're a bit on the back going, oh God, could there be a bit of mentality issue with City, like they've just conceded? And on paper at the moment, they've got one of the best squads. They've built this squad now that's supposed to be able to win the league. And for me, it says to me that Arteta, there's a lot of criticism around, his selection, his lineup. But for me, I just look at the mentality from him.
Yeah,
he goes absolutely berserk on the touchline. He doesn't compose himself like a manager should, where he's like, I'm taking grip. I'm going to take control of this team. We are going to push it. We are going to get that ball, get back on the halfway line, and let's go for it. There was none of that.
No, this is something. Look, my old journey with Arteta. Steve and I were very, very vocal when Arsenal first got Arteta that they should give him time and that Arteta, might be the right man for the job. And I still stand by the fact that I think he's taken Arsenal from here to here. He's got Arsenal back to being a serious club, okay? He's changed the mentality. He's got everyone there pulling in the same direction, which is what the key he took from Pep was. Everyone at the club must be pulling in the same direction, right?
Yep.
My problem is that everyone is pulling for Arteta. But when it gets to a point where, as a manager, your mentality can be questioned, then I think, okay, if you're the person that all these players are supposed to be following and your mentality is the way it is, and look, I'll be honest, we go back to last season, the Champions League semi-final, where we came out after the game and said, we were the better team. And it was very... Do you know he's come out yesterday in his press conference and was going on and on about I've had loads of people call me and say it's amazing what you did against Manchester City. It's like I'd be worried. Yeah, I had a CEO call me, many managers from other clubs calling me and praising me. I'm thinking, you believe your own hype before you've done anything.
He believes his own bullshit, man. He believes his own bullshit.
But this is the thing, that all of this is like, for me, it's like he's massaging his own ego, and it's like this, mate, go and win a trophy.
It's narcissistic behavior.
Yeah, it is narcissistic as fuck. It is. Yeah. It really, really is. It's borderline weird. Like
the best interest of the club are my interests.
Yeah. And it does feel like it now. All is Arteta is fucking just massaging his own ego. Like it really does feel like that to me.
The thing for me is like he's got a lot of signings through the door this summer that it appears that he wants, and he's still doing the exact same things that he's done over the last couple of seasons. That for me is just unless we see some dramatic change happen in the next couple of months and they walk away with the league, then to me this is the final proof that he has taken that club as far as he can take it.
And this is something I've always said, right? Fucking hell!
And also too, the irony isn't left on me as well.
Are you bantering? See, this doesn't help. Has Arteta surpassed Pep? He's the first manager to go unbeaten in 5 straight league matches against Pep. Mate, he hasn't won a title. How can he surpass Pep? Literally, you're doing some Arsenal PA now, mate.
Yeah, Pep only had 1 win at Anfield in his 7 or 8 years under Klopp. And yet he still beat him. And yet he still beat him to about 5 titles while Klopp got 1. The problem you have, Vibe, and I was going to say this is something similar to what I've sort of said about Arteta. The problem about Arteta is that he's so worried about winning battles that he completely forgets about the war.
The war.
And you think about it, because the Arsenal fans do this. They wax lyrical all the time about their record against top six. And yet at the end of the day, what happens with that top six? They still they still do one better than them and end up winning a title. And that's the problem that you have. And the proof is there too. City's record in recent years when we've won leagues against top six hasn't been that good.
Yeah,
the bread and butter is getting job done against those other 13 clubs. If you're going to get the job done against their 13 clubs, you're getting maximum points against 2/3 of the league. And he's just forgetting about that. He just thinks that, if I keep other clubs at bay, my nearest competitors at bay, then I'll go ahead and win the title. But the problem is you're too worried about those battles that by the time the war's over, it's like my forces are completely depleted.
Oh, Bob, you got me big time. He wants rage baiting. Go on, Alan. You had your hand up very, very politely.
No, I'm glad you kind of triggered me, because I've always wanted to try and say a few things about that.
I will say Arteta is quite right. The mentality's changed at Arsenal since
it has,
without doubt, right? And they're in a better space than they were before he arrived, without doubt. But it's a combination of things with Arsenal. The fans are so fucking entitled. It's ridiculous. And when they don't have a good result, they kick off like it's a complete meltdown. And they're entitled to win the league and the cup or the European Cup, or whatever it may be. That
applies to the other two red clubs, mate.
Yeah, delusion of grandeur, just like fucking Liverpool, and because they're as bad.
Do you know
the thing is Liverpool have actually won the league and they've won the Champions League.
In a way, it's justified, isn't it, Alan? I know. When we don't like talking about them on the show, but at the end of the day, their talk is justified because they have backed it up, and Klopp's backed it up by winning big trophies.
Yeah,
Arsenal haven't done it, and the one trophy. This is where it gets even more ironic. The one trophy that they did win was basically an entire squad that he inherited from the previous manager.
Yeah. Correct.
Do you know the bit that? Bit that confuses me. This is where
I watched the fans after the game against City. I couldn't believe their reaction.
But this is the thing, and this is what, for me, the Arsenal fans that, like, after the game were pissed off, right? I get them, right? I don't have an issue with them. I understand where they're fucking, you know what, they're pissed off from they saw the lineup and saw Odegaard's injured, fine. No Eze. So, hold on.
When I saw Eze was in the starting lineup, I'm I think we're going to get a result here today.
I was thinking...
Eze, the thought of Eze coming up against Eze in a Palace team was always made me cringe. In an Arsenal team, I was terrified.
Yeah, 100%. I thought...
But then they didn't. I'm like, oh, okay, we've been left out there.
Playing, if you're an Arsenal fan, you're looking at that, and you're complaining, I get it. But the ones that I've seen after the game that have come out and, Arteta's saying it, and there's us. So literally, Arteta said it in his interview, and there's a go-to on TalkSport, right? But also, I've spoke to a few that are the same as well in my comments of TikToks that are pushing the whole, we made Manchester City play a low block, right? And it's like, that's not a trophy. That really is not a fucking trophy at all. But there are Arsenal fans that are now on board with Arteta that, we made Manchester City come to the Emirates and play a fucking low block. And it's like, well, no fucking shit. Did you see?
Do you know what that is? Do you know what that is, Dubs? That's masking. They're just saying that because they don't want to admit that they've been shithoused by a team that hasn't been necessarily known for shithousery over many for a lot of the time. They just go and do all their talking on the pitch.
I don't think
there was some good old shithousery from City that time. And the fact that we get shithoused against a lot with goalkeepers delaying game and all that sort of stuff, or players trying to get under our players' skin, trying to get cards and things like that. The fact that we did it a little bit, and they can't take it.
It wasn't too long ago when they came to the Etihad and parked the bus against us.
They do a lot, but there's no harm in that. Listen, when people talk about this, I'm not someone here that criticizes Arsenal for making the most of set pieces, right? Because if your plan A is to score a goal, it's part of the game. And furthermore, if you're getting set pieces from free kicks and corners because other teams are playing a low block against you, so you make the most of your set pieces, then fair fucking play to you. But this is a thing. I look at that game at the weekend, and what I take from it, what I'm really happy about is firstly how well we defended set pieces, because in the past we have not been good in recent years we haven't been good against set pieces. We were very, very good against with set pieces. Secondly, I really loved this new mature Haaland that is not getting involved. And we talk about
squad Haaland.
Do you know what? We talk about the dark arts, right? Bernardo Silva. Yes, he's a little rat, right? He is Ratatouille officially, right? He's a little rat that you love, right? Because he is.
Bro, across the league, he's that player that everyone hates, but you'd love to have him in your squad.
You could see
he's top of that list.
You could see he was doing things on that game on Sunday, right? And then Arsenal players were looking at the referee, and the referee was responding as in, it wasn't a foul, or it wasn't, and they were going, I know, but come on. Like, because he knows the game so well that he knows what he can get away with, right? He was brilliant, but I loved how Haaland didn't get involved. Also, I loved Bruno's the annoying rat that we don't like. Bruno's that rat. Bernardo Silva. And
he's Splinter.
Come on, let's be honest. Bernardo Silva and Bruno, they're very similar players, right? As far as they're both fucking annoying little shits, right? That are so they want to win every game. Like, whatever you say about Bruno,
Bernardo's not as much a diva.
Yeah.
No, he's not a moaner.
Remember, Bruno's the first player in Premier League history to man mark the referee.
I like that one. But no, I really liked how Haaland wasn't getting drawn into the bullshit. I loved the fact that Rodri is getting better every single game again. Foden was a bit quiet, but look, let's move on to last night. What did you not take? Did everyone watch the game last night? Did you manage to watch it?
Yeah, I watched it.
Yep.
Yeah, everyone managed to watch it.
We're going to 5 this morning to watch it.
Yeah.
I
tried finding a legal stream and I got the shits because it kept timing me out. So I just bit the bullet, paid the £5 and just got the subscription to beIN Sports. Well, PSG TV, it should be called.
I did.
Yeah, look. At the end of the day, I think with these matches, it's hard to judge because you just want to get the draw. You just want to get the game done and just look forward to the next round. But there's always concerns about how cohesive the lineup's going to be when it's a cup lineup and there's rotation and you want to call it your B squad or your B- squad, whatever it is. But I commend the team because I thought they were very patient.
Yeah,
there was a lot in that squad that you didn't see any demons from last season.
Well,
everybody was very patient in the way that they did things. They had to be patient too because I think Huddersfield actually played very compact in the centre. They were quite willing to give us all the width.
Very compact.
And fair play to them. As a result, it meant that they didn't really offer that much going forward. But then again, if they wanted to sort of come with a similar game plan to last season, then and hope that it pays off, then there's a good chance that it would have if we were playing like we did 12 months ago. But I think we were a lot more patient in that, I was pleased with what we did, and it was effective and job done.
Yeah, I think
go on,
Alan. Go on.
I was quite encouraged at Rico Lewis passing the ball backwards and sideways for fucking 90 minutes because that's all he fucking did. And I actually
it's bad when he's slugging off one of his own.
I actually wanted to dive through the TV and give him a good kicking at a point.
I think you're full of complete shite. That's what I think.
What?
Go on, Dabs. Cue the Savinho shit, Doku shit.
Yeah, literally.
Listen.
You just wanted to have an agenda. You had to have an agenda.
Shut up. I
beg your fucking pardon.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
That's that's Alan's best opinion.
Savinho shit. Doku shit.
No,
listen. I was being his fan. He's from Bury like me. At the end of the day,
you're from Australia. Stop claiming it with the accent.
Piss off back to the White Horse then, you clown.
Look to the White Horse in Wiltshire. Listen,
shithole.
Shithole, good pub. All he did was pass it sideways.
No, I completely. Do you know what? I disagree. I think Rico was good yesterday. I think Rico was good.
Really?
I do. Yeah, I think Rico was good. I thought it was good. Do you know what I thought, man? I thought we were good. Like Pat said, they pretty much had fucking 10 men in the box most of the game, right? Trying to work our way through that. We have to remember, Alan, you've literally said to me, we have to be patient with this new group of players, right? And we have to let Reijnders and Rodri and Foden and all these players get used to one another. Let's remember that team yesterday was completely, like it usually is in the League Cup, is a team thrown together. This is not a team that's played together before. Rico Lewis doesn't regularly get to play in midfield. I actually think we played really, really well. We moved the ball about well. I think Rico and Foden were probably my best players. For me,
I thought Núñez had a good game as well, to be fair.
Núñez was good as well, actually. Yeah, Núñez was very good. Núñez was good down the right as well. Yeah, I agree on that. But I think this Rico thing, the problem with Rico is that Rico is going to do exactly what Pep tells him to do. Nothing more, nothing less. Don't expect to get these little Cherki moments out of Rico, because Rico is going to do what Pep tells him to do. And yesterday he was doing the exact type of role that Pep wants his 8 to do. And that is literally control the game, move the game to the left and right. That is what, look, he's a nowhere near as good Rodri. That's what he was doing. He was doing exactly what Rodri does. But
he just has to be a good support act.
Governor,
and that's what he did.
I was born in Whitefield, lived there till I was 26. And bought my first house in Walshaberry. So now you know.
It's when did this this is your life?
I tell you the other debut that I actually...
Go on.
I think Muska had a really good game as well.
Mukasu.
Mukasu, sorry.
Very, very good. Yeah, very good.
Yeah. Kind of false 9 role. He seemed to... He looked comfortable there. Like he sounded like he was given instructions by Pep, and he followed them almost to a T.
Yeah, I agree. I think he was good as well. I think, do you know what? He's very physical as well, a bit like O'Reilly, isn't he?
Well, Martin said, because he was at the ground last night, he said if anybody was going to look like Emil Heskey's son, it would probably be Devine Mukasu.
Yeah. What, build-wise?
Oh, he reckons he's stocky. He's a nugget.
Yeah, he's a unit.
He feels like another one of the academy kids that's actually got a future at City.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It seems like over the last just few years, it really does seem that the academy is now producing, and we've seen them produce talents, but it just seems on a more regular basis that we are now seeing more talented youngsters come in and actually start laying, the foundations to a City career.
Yeah, facts. I mean, if
he only just turned 18 as well too, so he's got age on his side.
Yesterday we had Trafford on the pitch, we had O'Reilly on the pitch, we had Rico Lewis on the pitch, we have Foden on the pitch, we have Bobb on the pitch.
Stones and Ake at the back.
No, hold on. We had Mukasu on the pitch. So we had 6 academy players on the pitch yesterday.
Oh,
am I right?
Yeah.
From the junior academy as well. We're not just talking about they've just been brought in.
No, they've come
15,
through,
16. They've actually come through at the younger ages.
Yeah.
I'm right. It was 6, wasn't it? It was Trafford.
You probably you've got to subtract Phil, Rico, and Nico from that. Nico O'Reilly. No. In terms of they're no longer at the academy.
No. What I'm saying is, I'm talking that have come through. What I'm talking about is actually we can now play 6 players from our academy in the League Cup. I know they're not the academy now, but
But I put a difference between that because what you play every week in the academy is a lot different to what you see and play every week.
Yeah, but I mean, we've got to remove most of them then. Because the only one that actually is probably still round the academy now is Mukasu. I don't even know how much Devine Mukasu is round the academy now. I think he's pretty much round the 11s now, but in the main squad.
No, I don't know because I mean we said this leading up to the game. It was the question for us on Blues Down Under was I thought the question was the lineup would be determined about what happened the night before in Bolton, but then apparently Mukasu played either nearly the full game or a full game against Bolton, and then he was starting against Huddersfield.
Yeah.
I think the Heskey brothers only got about 15, 20 minutes and then they played again too. So so maybe sometimes just because the academy's playing 24 hours prior doesn't mean that they're going to sit out one or the other.
No.
And keep in mind when we play Swansea at the end of next month, it's going to be a similar situation as well too.
Is that who we've got? Swansea?
We got Swansea away.
Yeah. Swansea away.
Fucking hell. I was on holiday with a Swansea fan. I need to message him.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure the academy's got some sort of cup match as well. Can't
Who
remember
was
who it's
Swansea
against,
beat?
but they're
Who
meant to
was
be playing the
Swansea
same week as well.
Who did Swansea beat? They beat a Premier League team, didn't they?
Oh, they beat Forest. They came back from like 1-0 down in the 90th minute.
It was Forest they beat.
In
Yeah,
like the 80th minute to win 2-1 or something.
yeah. So right, so Burnley at the weekend. Do we expect us to switch back, or do we kind of think a few? Donnarumma comes straight back in, do you reckon?
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Alan, what do you think of Trafford last night?
I saw him sat there in his deck chair for about 90 minutes.
Reading your text messages?
Are you starting to have a bit of a nervous attack every time he has the ball passed back to him? Or is it just me?
What
about when the ball went across the line and he was literally like he was about to hug it?
Where he let it roll, Shepherd back in the 80-yard box.
I think he thought there's going to be more bounce on the pitch, because that was nervy times. But no, Alan, seriously, because the whole Donnarumma can't kick. Do you feel more nervous with the ball at Trafford's feet or the ball at Donnarumma's feet?
Neither. I'm fine with the pair of them.
Very, very political answer there, because ultimately what you're telling me is that, I get what you're saying, Daps.
No, I'm fine with the pair of them.
Really?
Yeah.
I see why you could be fine. I don't know. I can't lie. I get nervy with the ball, and I think it's because Trafford is trying too hard to be that goalkeeper that uses his feet. But I can't lie. I'm starting to get nervous when every time he has the ball at his feet now.
Calm down. You don't jump on the bandwagon like
I'm not. No, Alan.
You do feel like when Trafford plays, he plays like he wants to become the second coming of Edison.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Whereas Donnarumma has very openly come out and said, if I see a risk, I'm going long, right? Whereas with Trafford, I don't know, he just does look like he was trying too hard to use his feet all the time, and it's making me nervy. And I hate to say it, but that'll rub off to the players as well.
Can we also say that the worry when Donnarumma, before he joined, was that he can't play with his feet, that he can't kick? I've seen no evidence of this since he's come into the team.
By the way, some of his passes against Arsenal were fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
He has been known to be a little bit shaky under a really for example, when we've played PSG, he has been threatened a bit by our press, but that's if you're up against a high quality press. It's a bit different to say just having one or two forwards running at you.
There was also Pat,
but that's the only exception to the rule for me, Ozzy. But besides that, I think he handles it relatively well.
But there was also worries that he can't take from set pieces or from corner kicks, he can't make those clearances. And so far, Arsenal couldn't.
Oh, he's exceptional on corners.
He's exceptional on corners. From everything I've seen from
the amount of balls, the amount of crosses in corners he was punching in the derby.
Yeah,
that was more of a tribute to Ricky Hatton than it was a goalkeeping performance.
Against Arsenal, we've got to remember this Arsenal team are absolutely phenomenal on set pieces. Right, they're one of the best teams we've seen on set pieces for quite a while in the Premier League.
Yeah.
The way Donnarumma was dealing with their set pieces, I saw them starting to have their little chats amongst themselves, trying to come up with different ways of dealing with it. Because Donnarumma, what he must be doing to that back four with giving them the confidence, and that's the one thing I love. I don't know if you.
I think he's changed the dynamic, and it's been kind of ignored by some City fans.
Yeah.
We don't realise we don't think that because we spent so many years of usually Edison not being a massive factor in the defence because he just gelled. It was a cohesive unit as part of the defence. He just basically passed the ball around. The players just knew where he was. But now that Donnarumma's there, I think there's a bit more leadership. I think there's a bit more structure. And I don't know. It's Edison. I think Edison was sort of not a leader, but he was a major part of that defence with his feet. I think Donnarumma is more of a major part of that defense with his head or with his mentality.
Mentality. There's a thing that, as an example,
commanding presence.
Yeah,
and commanding presence. Yeah.
really is. Like I can't lie. Look, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I told all you lot about Donnarumma. I wasn't. I was saying Steve, because Steve from day one I've never seen, the last time Steve got so excited about signing a player was Haaland, right? And the minute we got Donnarumma, he was just on him ridiculously. I was going, fucking hell. But I'm not gonna lie, I think he's a big, big factor on this whole change around of mentality at the club. The fact he's come out, or his agents come out and said, the first thing Pep said to him is, I need you to wake up this dressing room, right? And you see on every corner, him and Haaland, it's like them two are like the tag team that are like, we are not conceding from this corner. But I really, really liked on Sunday against Arsenal, the whole defensive unit with Núñez. And this is something, I don't know if you picked up on this, but everything Núñez did, they were going over and fucking, patting him on the back. You can tell Núñez at the moment is the nervy one out of that defence, right? And for obvious reasons, against Brighton, he came on and he gave away a free kick, right? A penalty, sorry. And I like the way we're moving into unit where it seems like we're getting back to. Can you remember 100-point season? We had a few players. I think we had Mendy, we had Walker. We had a few players that joined the Sane, I think, came in as well.
No, Sane was the first season. I think Centurion season that summer we had come in. It was Kyle Walker, Mendy,
Edison,
Bernardo Silva,
Edison,
Danilo.
Right. But the main thing is, can you remember?
A few. I know there's maybe one or two more.
A group of players kind of formed that were calling themselves, what was it, Shark Team or something like that?
Yeah.
And it was a real, you could see the difference of the squads and how they were the season before to how they were that season. And it does seem like something's going on at City where we're starting to get that self-belief back that maybe we lost last season a little bit. And I think Donnarumma is a big, big part of it.
Do you know, just to build upon that as well, I loved it when Steve would turn around, it was a couple of seasons ago, and he'd say, watch out for that shark behind you, a reference to when we were trying to fight Liverpool for the league. And I just feel that mentality is starting to come back.
Yes.
I do feel that we are starting, because especially in the media and our opposition fans are kind of saying, we're nowhere near the title, we haven't got a chance, blah, blah. I actually think the more you underestimate City at the moment, that's to your detriment. Because
I think I've seen
there's a good, strong possibility.
I thought they were doing it. Yeah.
There's a good possibility that we could prove a lot of people
wrong.
Well,
I think where we are at the moment, would I put us as favourites to win the league? Absolutely not.
No.
But what I would say is that I do believe that by about February time, as long as we can keep players fit, and that's very fucking important. So this international break, someone said they're looking forward to international break because I think, Pat, you said it. I'm not, because we're just starting to get all our players back.
Yeah.
I hope to God Pep, they're all careful. But I think by February time, I think you could see a fucking City that are absolutely cooking. I think around February time, by then, we could have really gelled and we can really be up to something. Now, if we can stay on the tails of Arsenal and Liverpool, or even maybe if we get above Arsenal and we stay on the tails of Liverpool within touching distance, we should be the dark horse this season. And it sounds mad calling City the dark horse, but I don't think many of us are really saying, we're going to win it. But
I think we can. That's just.
I think to be honest, now we can only speculate until Christmas.
Yeah,
we can, but I also think who's got a better spine than City right now? Donnarumma at the back, who's conceded once. To be fair, to a lucky goal, a good goal, no denying that, but everything else is kept out.
Well, I'll tell you.
Then you've got a partnership of potentially Diaz and Gvardiol. Then you've got Rodri. Then you've got Foden, who's on fire, and then Haaland in front of that.
True.
I just think that's got the best spine in the league.
Do you know that? See, this is the thing. No one spoke about the start of the season when Gvardiol was out. Right now, if last season Gvardiol was our player of the season, I think we'd probably all agree over the last 2 seasons, Gvardiol's been our best defender. Right now. You take Gvardiol out of the City team, of course it's going to make a difference, because if you take Van Dijk out of that Liverpool team, it's making a difference. And if you take Gabriel out of that Arsenal team, it's making a big, big difference. And no one spoke about our player of the season not being here until I think he came back for the United game, right? No one has said that. No, not one rival has mentioned the fact we didn't have our player of the season last season. Then we look at DMs, and I do agree with you. I had a couple of Arsenal fans telling me before that game at the weekend that that we were going to see who Spain's best DM is. And we did see who Spain's best DM is very fucking clearly, right? And it's not Zubimendi. That was a
60-minute Rodri on about 60% match fitness was better than a 90-minute Zubimendi on full fitness.
It made me laugh because, you know, people were saying, I thought when they're saying, oh, yeah, no, this is Zubimendi v Rodri, I thought, well, it's a bit harsh because Rodri is still fucking returning. And while he's returning, he's just had to play 3 games in a week, right? But I tell you what, Rodri bossed that game. He absolutely bossed that game. He completely controlled that game. The one that excites me the most is that midfield. I really do think that Rodri, Reijnders, Foden midfield can become, by the end of this season, I think people are going to be talking about that midfield world class.
Yeah, I think once Reijnders got some things sorted out in terms of you're not going to have as much time on the ball as you did in Serie A. Once he's sorted that out, I think he'll be up there as one of the best midfielders this season.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is I think he'll adjust to Premier League and playing under Pep immediately, because I think when you sign midfielders in the mid to late 20s, they're well attuned to the game. They know what their task is as a player. They know they've got their football brain is at its best. Their match fitness is at its best, and I think he'll be ready to go. None of this 1 year betting in. He'll be ready to go straight away.
And the final thing is, we will talk on that in a minute, Thunder Road, 100%. People, 182 of you in here. There are, what the likes on? The likes are on 136. Not bad. Come on, let's get those likes up to 150, please. Not bad for a first show back in a week, so thank you. I also think if you look at where we are right now, and I just spoke on that midfield of Foden, Reijnders, Rodri, we have to remember seeing games out, Kovacic, because I don't think Kovacic is going to come in and become a starter, right? I don't. However, fucking hell, I think Kovacic is going to be very important coming on in games and giving Rodri that rest. If we had Kovacic against Arsenal to come on for the last 15 minutes, and by the way, can I say one last thing about the Arsenal game? One thing that I really, really liked is last season when we conceded goals, we often conceded, it looked like we were going to concede a second. When we conceded that goal against Arsenal, I think we actually then probably looked more likely to score. We looked like we weren't going, okay, fair enough. Oh, we'll take a 1-1. At 1-1, City then tried to up the ante, although I just think we didn't have much in our tanks at that point, but very, very promising. But when we have our midfield cooking of Rodri, Reijnders and Foden, to be able to bring in Kovacic or Cherki, right? 2 big differences. I think Cherki coming into a team that's fully functioning is going to be completely different, because we haven't really seen Cherki and Foden. Sorry, we haven't really seen Cherki and Rodri at his best yet.
I've just got some news on Cherki.
You forgot one thing, Daps.
Go on.
Returning of Foden in the City team playing well has made a huge difference.
Massive difference. Massive. But, bro, do you know what? And away from all of this, the one thing I'll say I love about it, I love seeing that he's smiling again, because that tells me he may well have beat mental health. So,
yeah, definitely.
Like that's a big one to me, to see Foden happy and to see people around him looking happy for him. You can see Pep, like, Pep looks happy that Foden is happy again. And I think that's something as a man that I'm all for that, man. And he is. Yesterday he looks like the old Foden. And by the way, Haaland, man, actually we have to pull Haaland up on something. Haaland, what are you doing? Have some more faith in Foden. He should have squared that ball to him against Arsenal.
Yeah.
We won the game. He would have won it with 2-0 that minute.
That would have been it. And that's the one thing we've been saying about killing games off. Shout out to Tony, Man City Tony. Hope you're well, bro. Big up Daps and the Blues on the show. Smash the like. Yeah. Big up Blues. Hope you're well.
Ozzy, what's the news? What's the news?
Yeah, go on, Ozzy. What's the Cherki news?
Well, just talk about Tone. He just messaged me saying that Cherki is ahead of schedule and will be training shortly. So that's news from Tone.
Brilliant. Yeah, I think it's funny. Someone said to me on Monday they'd seen a picture of him in training, and I was like, really? Well, the last thing we need to talk about, the Yorkshire Perlo yesterday. He is back. Do you know what? Sorry, Thunder Road. You're 100% right with that, to be fair, from my point of view, agreed. But you know what? Even if he's managing it, it's better than, because last season he wasn't managing it. So, but anyway, let's move on to Calvin Phillips. Calvin Phillips, do you know what? It is, when you think about it, for your first game back as a Yorkshire boy to be facing Huddersfield.
He got through every time he got the ball.
But what was it? We're on the pitch when Calvin scores. We're on the pitch when Calvin scores. And also, yeah, do you know what? I had a feeling we were going to see Calvin Phillips yesterday. It didn't do much wrong. It's interesting at the end of the game when Pep was giving Nico Gonzalez. Did everyone see Pep and Nico Gonzalez?
Yeah. The coaching.
But it actually started when he came off. When he subbed him off, he started. And I think Pep must have said, let's wait around at the end of the game. I'll show you. But you can see this is what makes me think maybe Gonzalez will start again against Burnley.
He will. He will start.
I think he will start. But no, it's you know what? If Calvin Phillips' fitness is there, it's having another body that we can bring on. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. And hopefully he gets to move in January. He's not going to be long term, is he? So right then. I need to wrap this up. I've got another show with on Never a Foul, which we're going to redirect over. Guys, have you got anything coming up on Mancunian Way today?
Yes, Thursday night chat will be about 9:15 p.m. Later tonight. So, keep an eye out for that. Post-match of Burnley will probably be on Sunday. And then, Blues Down Under and Stateside Blues should be back around this time next week.
Lovely. And we will be back tonight at 5 p.m, myself and the Sheikh. Until then, smash a like on the way out and stay where you are. This will go over to Never a Foul, where we will be talking all football, all Premier League football. Until then, I will leave you with... shall we leave you with a receipt? No, we'll leave you... Do you know what? I'm going to leave you with some Goldbridge because he's funny as shit.
Oh, keeper's got to be fucking quicker than that. Oh, he's slower than a bag of cement. No, it's literally the two problems, isn't it? Man United treating fans like a fucking baby treats Pampers. Shit! It's just the same mistakes that cost us the game. We're literally going to lose this game because we haven't got a midfielder or a fucking goalkeeper. Who would have thought it? Who would have thought it, eh? Who would...